you will speak to our hearts and grant us understanding. Understanding that will affect our lives and cause us to shine forth your light in this sick world that we live in, to draw men and women unto yourself. We thank you for you will do this. We pray in Jesus' name. Amen. By the way, it's good to remember that Pastor Sisma celebrated his birthday on the 14th of January this past week. So we thank God for adding a year. He has hit some kind of landmark. But I will allow you to find out that from him. And he keeps accusing me of not seeing very well. I'm just looking at him. It's a matter of time. So we will conclude what we started last Sunday, and we will again refresh our memories by reading from Isaiah chapter 1 verse 1. The vision concerning Judah and Jerusalem that Isaiah, son of Amos, saw during the reign of Uzziah, Jotham, Ahaz, and Hezekiah, king of Judah. The Lord bless the reading of his word. So we're looking at the second part of the topic, vision, the secrets of walking in God's plan. So the vision is from God. To walk in God's plan, you must key into the vision of God. And we've mentioned to us the theme that we're studying this year in ECWA, Behold, I am doing a new thing. And it's taken from Isaiah 42:19. And we are looking at a dimension that will help us understand how families will fit into God's new plan. So God is working in the plan that He has for the family, how we can key into it. And family can start from an individual, and then the smallest unit of the family, where you have the parents and the children or the wards, and then you have the larger unit of the family, that is the Church of Jesus Christ. Now, this new plan is found in Christ through the Word of God. So we have the roadmap, the Word of God, that will help us to understand that plan that God has for His creation, the world and all of us that are living in it. God has unveiled His plan for man, from individuals and families. And as we said, we will do well to properly position ourselves to walk daily in God's new plan. And we can do that only when we put the Word of God before us at all times. And I believe that the book of Isaiah speaks to our situation in Nigeria. And I think that it will help us this year to understand God's plan for us, to understand God's plan for our nation, especially in these turbulent times that we're experiencing. But again, the situation we face in this country is similar to what other countries face. They may have some different outlook, but the source is the same. Now, by way of recapping what we looked at last Sunday, we said Isaiah is often considered to be the greatest among the prophets that penned down their works. He's been called the prince of the prophets, not because of his royal lineage, but by the fact of the majesty of his prophetic ministry, which actually sets him apart from the rest. He has also been called the eagle among prophets, who saw far ahead and wrote with precision. His work is the basis for many New Testament books. And what this means is the New Testament books drew their foundation from the book of Isaiah. In fact, the New Testament writers, as we observed last Sunday, drew from his work more than they did the rest of the Old Testament prophets put together. And that is why Isaiah is referred to as the evangelist of the Old Covenant. It was from Isaiah that the first Christians gained a vital insight into who Jesus was and the significance of the ministry of Christ, even talking about his death and his resurrection. As we go through Isaiah, some of the passages that we'll look at will point us to this very direction to understand that the New Testament writers, the first a crowd of Christians understood the ministry of Christ from the prophecies that the Lord gave to Isaiah. Of course, we observe that he was from a royal family, linked to the lineage of King David, and his ministry alone spanned about 50 years, touching about 5 kings of Judah, starting from what we have in chapter 1, verse 1, from Uzziah, Jotham, Ahaz, Hezekiah, and possibly Manasseh, who is being believed to have killed Isaiah, because as far as he was concerned, this old man has spoken too much, so it's time for him to go. Chapter 6 will capture to us the call of the prophets. It was there that we saw Isaiah acquiring a deeper knowledge of God and how he responded to that call in faith and in obedience. We see from Isaiah chapter 6 how God reached out to him with grace when he stood before the council of Yahweh and he saw the holiness of God and he said, I am doomed. I am a man of unclean lips, living among unclean people. And God showed his grace. He purified Isaiah's tongue and gave him a message. No wonder, as many commentators observe, that Isaiah, in his writing, he was very honest and he was direct in calling the nation to repentance. He was calling the nation to live a righteous life, and he never minced words in doing that. See, when someone encounters the Lord, the way Isaiah encountered the Lord, you will have no fear anymore. Who will you be afraid of? This guy saw the holiness of God. Something he will share in the future. So he will not want anything to cause him to derail from that path. As I said, the book will speak to our own time because Isaiah also wrote during the turbulent time in the life of the covenant community, that is the children of Israel. At that very moment, they were descending into their lowest, and in every sense, politically, spiritually, materially, they were descending because they digressed from the covenant they had entered with God. Remember, we alluded to Exodus 19, and you go to Deuteronomy, from 27 upward, you will see that the Lord promised them, if you obey, you will be blessed. If you disobey, you will receive curses. And so because of their disobedience, the nation began to decline. And we will come to see later how they will interpret the decline they were experiencing. At that very same time, the Assyrians were ascending, they were gaining momentum, becoming the superpower of the world. You could see how the southern part of Israel and the northern part of Israel were conniving to see how they would deal with each other. How the southern kingdom aligned with the Assyrians to clear off their own brothers. And how that we've seen, even in our country today, among so-called believers, we backstab each other for some gains that we think we'll get from whoever we're conniving with. And most times, the people we're conniving with are unbelievers. And we do that to our own doom, because when they finish dealing with those other ones of our own that we connect with them to deal with, they will come back to us. And when they finish with us, because there is no Christ among them, they will consume themselves. That is God's arrangement. How that Isaiah spoke against that concept of aligning with evil in order to deal with, the saying, the enemy of my enemy is my friend. But you are not even trying to decipher if that enemy of your enemy is also your enemy or your friend. Isaiah will give the solution. Do not trust a man. Trust only in the Lord. And that we have seen Hezekiah during this time when the Assyrians besieged Jerusalem. He trusted in the Lord, and the Lord delivered him. So we want to see 3 quick points, and the first one is the briefest, that talks about the view of God in Isaiah. How did Isaiah present Yahweh to his readers, to his listeners? So his listeners will be the primary people that receive from him. We will be his readers, along with other generations that lived before us. One key point that Isaiah wanted to present to the nation that we can learn from today is this, that Yahweh is the sovereign Lord. God is the Almighty God. He is righteous. He is the all-powerful and the forever dependable God. He can be depended upon. Do not trust in horses. Do not trust in chariots. Do not trust in empires. Do not trust in anyone. Trust in the Lord, because He is forever dependable. He is faithful in keeping His covenant. Now, this is the part that will not be palatable even to the nation at that moment. That it was by reason of the faithfulness of God that He was punishing them. Because if the Lord was not doing anything to them by reason of their disobedience, of course the writer of Hebrews, and you will see a great connect between the writer of Hebrews and Isaiah. If you do not receive discipline from your father, you are an illegitimate child. That's what the writer of Hebrews will say. So the faithfulness of God is pictured here in the discipline that He was meting upon the children of Israel, because it was part of the covenant agreement. You obey, you are blessed. You disobey, you are cursed. And the curses will manifest themselves in all kinds of pestilence, punishment, plagues, and you'll be defeated by your enemies. So even the discipline is part of God's faithfulness. We hardly see God as faithful when we are receiving discipline from Him, correct? We see Him as a wicked God. No mercy. And then in our prayers we say, how about God? Be merciful, forgive, be merciful. He is faithful, and that is why He must discipline. So I hope that we understand discipline to be part of faithfulness as well. Isaiah wanted the nation to understand that there is none that can be compared to Him. All others are idols. Idols are less than human. God is holy. That was what Isaiah saw the first instance he was commissioned. He saw the holiness of God. The way the angels were praising and worshiping the holiness of God. When you approach the holiness of God, how do you feel? Like the Pharisee or the tax collector? You approach the Lord and you say, Lord, I thank you because I am so good. I serve you with everything I have. You know how obedient I have been. You need to reward me for that. Some of us approach God that way. There is no how you can approach the holiness of God and feel worthy anyway. As Paul will say, the more you draw closer to the holiness of God, the more the stains of sin on your garments are presenting themselves before you, showing you your true and real state of being, and how that you need the cleansing power of God. Just as He cleansed Isaiah when He acknowledged his position and said, I am a man of unclean lips. And God said, okay, my son, I have mercy on you. I will cleanse you. But when you say, I am already there, Father, you say, that's fine, my son, remain there. That's all right. You don't need me. We also see how Isaiah painted a picture of God, how that He is just in dealing with rebellious people, how He will visit them with destruction in order to purge their sins away and cleanse their land. And this will come to show itself fully when the nation will be sent to exile. That was an act of grace, God dealing with sin, because the sin had gone so deep that the nation was not able to cleanse themselves of the sin. So God had to come to it Himself. All of the sacrifices was not going to do anything. Also, Isaiah will show us how that Yahweh is a compassionate God who will come to rescue from oppression the hopeless man. So man is hopeless, and God is coming in His compassion to rescue man from that state in redemption and restoration. So when God cleanses, He restores. He doesn't cleanse one and leaves one there. Restoration takes place. He is Yahweh that forgives and renews his people for a better relationship. So when the garbage is cleared, it's so that our coordinates will be realigned to now have a very clear picture to view God as he is, so that our relationship with him will become better. Because sin has a way of becoming a hindrance, closing our visions from seeing God. So God will deal with the sin so that we will be realigned to him in our relationship. It is very difficult for the mind that does not have Christ to understand this perfect union that exists in God. That he is merciful, but he is just as well. So how do you reconcile his justice and his mercies? He must punish sin. He must punish all kinds of injustice. He must deal with it, but he's also a loving father, that even in that action, his compassion is showing forth. And he brings back his own to himself after cleansing for a better relationship. You have the story of how the shepherds, when they discover that a particular sheep is being very stubborn, one of the things they will do, because some of the members of the sheep will start running off, and then others will begin to follow them, and then it becomes difficult for the shepherd to put them under control. So what the shepherd will always do is to identify that one that is very stubborn, that keeps running off. And what will the shepherd do? Break its leg. You break its leg. Now those early days that the sheep is nursing the wound, the shepherd will carry the sheep on his shoulder. So that sheep will take some days to be nursed by the shepherd, but you see, by reason of that, the shepherd is able to keep the entire herd in control. But that wounded one will always be on his shoulder, because that one cannot walk by itself. And then the shepherd will be plucking some of the leaves that the rest will not even reach, and be feeding that one on the shoulder. Feeding. And when that one gets healed, guess what the transformation will be? That sheep will become the closest to the shepherd, because he's not used to the smell of the shepherd. He knows that around the shepherd I can get the softest and the most tender of all the leaves. You see how God deals with the stubborn ones? You know how it applies to us, right? So if God had not broken the legs of some of us here, we would still be very far off. He broke the legs, and then he carried us on his shoulder, and now we have enjoyed the tender leaves, and we want to remain in his presence. Look at it very well. The ones that have been the most stubborn, when they embrace Jesus, they are on fire all the time. But the ones who grew with the righteousness, you know that kind of righteousness, I've been clean from when I was small. Never tasted this and that. Some of them don't understand the grace of God, like some of us do. So Isaiah presented this person of God in perfect unity and harmony without any confusion. And you will see how even in that he's mixing words of judgment with the message of hope. So you talk about judgment, but then hope is on the way. Let me briefly look at the role of Isaiah to the exiled community. That's the second point. Isaiah's prophecy seems to address the period that the southern kingdom was taken to exile. Now, this is the interesting thing. When he wrote about how the exile would look like, it was still to come over 100 years from when he wrote it. This is one interesting thing about the prophecy of Isaiah. So the exile came about 100 years after he wrote about the exile itself. He also wrote about the return from the exile that will come over 150 years from his own time. We mentioned last time that Assyria held power in the then known world for about 300 years. You see, with their wickedness, they were in power for 300 years. Some of you think that when the wicked is in power, they will die after 2 years. I don't know why the Lord allows them to stay very long. And then when the righteous come, they don't stay for long, right? God, I don't know. The Assyrians, you know how we described them last Sunday? They were in power for over 300 years. In fact, they were in power about 150 years before Isaiah came. But when the time of judgment came for the children of Judah, by that time the Assyrians were destroyed. And Isaiah captured all of this in his prophecy. I'm looking forward to when we will reach that point to study and see the work of God in delivering his children from wicked empires. The Babylonians came into power after about 300 years of the reign of Assyrians. And you see, the Babylonians came when the time was right for the southern kingdom to be punished. Because it was not the Assyrians that punished them, it was the Babylonians. Just 5, 6, 7 years into their reign as being the world superpower, it was time for the judgment of Judah. That was around 605 years before the birth of Christ. That was when the Babylonians began to deal with the southern kingdom. And we see that 586 years before the birth of Christ, you know, we said the years were coming backward. And then they reached 0 during the birth of Christ, and then we began to count 1. And today we're in 2019, after the birth of Christ. To look at what Isaiah will say was very unthinkable to the people. That they will go on exile to leave Jerusalem, the city of God. This is what I love so much about Isaiah, Ezekiel. When we studied Ezekiel, the way he painted the picture of the departure of Yahweh in the vision he saw. How the chariot of God descended and came to the entrance of the temple. And Yahweh left the Holy of Holies and walked out of the temple and entered his chariot and departed Jerusalem, signifying that the destruction of the nation had reached. A powerful imagery that Ezekiel presented. Isaiah had given the prophecy of those happening and they came to fulfillment during the time of Ezekiel. So it was unthinkable. God said, when the temple was dedicated by King Solomon, I will put my name in this temple. This will be my house. I will dwell among my people. So, to them, just as the other nations will have this mentality, whatever power you possess is by reason of the person or the character of your deity. And last Sunday we talked about how in many tribes and cultures in our country, you have, especially we talk about the Yoruba people, you have a Shango. Shango is the god of what? Thunder and iron bow. Okay, there are many gods with their identity. So a god gives his people his identity. Yahweh had given his people his own identity, but they abandoned it and began to pick the identity of the other gods because they were feeling our God is not meeting our needs now. As we have one church today, it's called the God of now. It's 3 now. The God of now. Yes, that's how it is. It's not 2 now. It's 3. Yeah, I read it well. So for them, the temple to be destroyed is impossible. And when that happened, they began to wonder, was Yahweh dead? Was the Babylonian God stronger than him? Or is it that they believed in a lie all along? I watched one old movie they showed. I don't know what these people were aiming to achieve. Maybe if I would see it now, I would try to understand. That the grave of Jesus was discovered with his bones inside. That was the movie. Now listen, it's a movie. Don't think I mean that the actual grave was discovered with his bones. Don't think so. Don't think I said that. But that the movie is portraying that. Now, what will become the fate of Christians? You see how people want to confuse people. And so, some clergies were committing suicide, that we've been teaching a lie all along. So he died and never rose again. But we know that Jesus rose after death. And he was seen by many witnesses before he ascended. And he is reigning, not only in heaven, but in our lives today. Amen. Amen. So this nation reached that point they were questioning the potency of Yahweh. They forgot about the covenant requirements that they entered with God. They forgot that it was their sin that made God to depart his temple, because he said, I can never share my glory with any idol or even any human. So he left because they brought a lot of idols into the temple. Yahweh left. If you bring many idols in your life, you will feel the presence of God leaving you. If you are sensitive enough, you will feel his presence departing your life. The covenant that they entered, as Isaiah will remind them, is the basis of the charge that Yahweh was bringing before them. And by reason of his faithfulness, he was visiting them with judgment. See, a nation that was destined for greatness is now in slavery again. They were in slavery in Egypt, now they are in slavery again in Babylon. Now we're talking about a nation already taken to exile, and how the ministry or the prophecy of Isaiah reached them, because we want to see the role of Isaiah to the exiled community. So at that particular moment, the nation was in despair. Friends, even our country, Nigeria, today has many names. Nigeria has been called the giant of Africa. You know, Isaiah actually speaks to Nigeria. The giant of Africa. The most populous nation of the black race in the whole world, correct? Correct? Yeah. Endowed with all kinds of wealth. I heard about the statement of someone that he said he will not serve God. And they said, why? He said, which kind of God is this? That he will take one country alone and give them everything. And look at them, useless people. They don't even know how to harness the things that God has given to them. He has given them everything. What is it that we don't have in Nigeria? Everything you plant in Nigeria grows. Yeah. Just find the right soil. It grows. Endowed with human and natural resources. A nation with great potentials. Have you ever seen a 60-year-old person and they say, this is a man of great potentials? You know the idea of potentials, right? This one has prospect. They only say of small children as this one has potential. But older people, even like us, I don't think people still call us people with potentials. But Nigeria is 60 and we still call her a nation with great potentials. Top. The resources are waiting to be tapped. A nation destined for greatness. But where are we now? From the late 70s to date, we have experienced an abysmal descent. Those who witnessed those days, those early days, our naira is equal to dollar, even greater. Correct? Nigeria, naira was about the same value with pounds. The reason is not far-fetched. This is the reason. We have turned our backs on God. We are neck deep in our sins and transgressions. Yet we are telling ourselves that we are great. This is a deception of the highest order. God has allowed us to be enslaved, friends. Wake up. We are in exile now. Oh yeah, we are in exile. And Isaiah is speaking to us, an exiled community, like Judah had during their own time. But thank God, something interesting happened. And this is where Isaiah stepped in for the exiles. When they were taken from Jerusalem and ruled Babylon, some among the captives were very hopeful. Why? The rest didn't understand why some of them were hopeful. And this is the reason. Some of them had secretly smuggled out some of the scrolls, if you like, some of the Bibles that they had in the temple. So they were in forms of scrolls during that time. And the temple was destroyed, but they smuggled with the few Bibles before the temple was destroyed. And they went with it to Babylon. Among the scrolls they took, one of them was the beautiful scroll written by Isaiah. Over 100 years before that very time that the incident was taking place. Now, those ones who saw the prophecies of Isaiah and read and saw that indeed Isaiah said it with surgical precision that they were going to be taken to exile about a certain period in their history. When they saw it, the scales from their eyes fell off. This is what the Word of God does to you, friends. When you read the Word of God, the scales from your eyes will fall off. You will see the vision. You will see God, His plans, how He is working in your life and in the life of the nation that you live in. They saw themselves as now living in what Isaiah had written. They saw that it was happening exactly as he prophesied. Not only that, but they also saw Isaiah prophesying concerning their return from the exile. That was why they were hopeful. Amen. It was an impossibility from human standpoint. No nation went on exile and came back. But they saw from the prophecy. Now, for them to see about the exile, it was easy for them to believe that indeed the return will also take place. Since the exile has been precisely prophesied about and is happening. And so these ones who read the prophecies kept their faith alive and they kept encouraging the other exiles. Along with people like Prophet Ezekiel. He was living in the time that the prophecy was being fulfilled, the prophecy of Isaiah. And even right there among them, Ezekiel was dramatizing. You know, if you read Ezekiel well, you will see that the Lord used his life to communicate to the nation what was going to happen. I remember very well. I will never forget that. On the 3rd of September, just slightly over 2 years, but that was 2016, when we were studying Ezekiel. The day I stood here to talk about the drama that was going to happen in the life of Ezekiel, when the Lord told him, gird yourself, Ezekiel, because your wife is going to die today. That day my wife was in the theater being operated upon. And as I was studying and my wife was in the theater, I was reflecting. Is God also telling me that my own wife is going to die? And the child she gave birth to had to be under oxygen. Even the child was, in fact, the child was almost dying more than the mother. Believe me, I have no idea what energy and courage the Lord gave me to stand here that day. But you see, the thing happened that very day, and there was no other good ask someone to preach that passage. So I came, and I preached. And after the first service, I got the message that all is well. All is well. They are all fine. So focus upon what you are doing. Everything is well. That message came to me, it was like an angel visited me in the office. The life of Ezekiel became the drama to live out the prophecies of Isaiah. Isaiah's prophecy will capture this one fact to the exiles. That the return from exile was not going to be based on their own workings or doings. It was going to be strictly based on the person and the character of God. That He's a faithful God, that He keeps His promise, and that He was going to deliver them. Again, something about the character of God. Friends, this is the situation of our country. The Word of God has revealed to us our future. God has laid a plan from the beginning to the end. And God has documented everything and has given it to us. And it's right here. His Word. We know where we're coming from. We know where we're going to. Moses had to take his time to tell the children of Israel how that they were created by God. Because many nations during that period were telling their own people how that they were offsprings of the gods. Your source tells about your person, your identity. And that is why Paul, John, the apostles will remind us that we are God's children. And so we need to demonstrate and display the character of God because we are His children. If you claim to be from the god Zeus, you will act like Zeus. If you claim to be an offspring of a god that is always at war, you will always be fighting war, as we see some people fighting today. We know where we are going to. Heaven is our destiny, like that song. Oh, heaven is in my heart. Oh, heaven is in my heart. Home is in my heart, and home is heaven. The scriptures gives us the roadmap to our destiny, friends. But sadly, the Bible is the most unread book on earth. The most unread. Gathering dust on our shelves, only remembering it on Sundays for some. In fact, now many of us have excuses when we want to come to church, that our Bibles are in our phones. And when we are using our phones, the text message comes in, you open. And then a WhatsApp message, a Facebook message, other messages. Before you know it, you are chatting. Of course, you are reading the Bible from the phone. And then you are chatting and you are doing other things. My children are here, they will tell you. When we come for devotion in our family, you can't read your Bible from your phone. Everyone must take the hard copy. Everyone must take the hard copy. If you cannot take the hard copy, forget it. You are not reading Bible that day. I can see them, they're laughing at you. That is the training, the heritage we received. We must pass it on. How can we know the new thing that God is doing if we don't read His Word? How can we be part of God's plan if we don't read the roadmap? If we will return to God, trust Him and His words concerning us, believe me, He will set us free. And this exile that we are in our nation, we will be set free. Amen. Amen. The Lord has kept for Himself a faithful group that is constantly encouraging the fold in one way or the other. Like those ones who read the prophecies of Isaiah, and we're encouraging the nation. Don't worry about the exile. Let's turn to God. We will return home. Are you one of them? Are you one of them? That the Lord can count upon to be one of those encouraging the fold about what is happening. That voice calling out from the walls, informing the nation the direction to go. Are you one of those? I want to conclude with these few thoughts. As we do just a brief look through of our nation. As I said earlier, this is indeed a timely book for the church in Nigeria. And it's good that we're going to study Isaiah this year. It speaks deeply to our current state of affairs. And one good thing is that we can use it to chart a path, not only out of the despair, but also to get strength of God to reposition individual Christian lives and families and the church of God to be on the right path. God had good prophets among us who told us of events that we're experiencing today, but we never listened. We had the likes of Paul Guidry and many others that I can call their names. They stood even here in the heart of jobs, and they told us that if you are not careful, A, B, and C will happen. Is it not happening now? God has sent prophets among us, but that is always the problem. We don't listen. We don't listen. And they say, the dog that does not listen to the call of the hunter, what will happen to that dog? You get lost in the bush. You will get lost. Many of us have gotten lost. We've gotten lost. We no longer hear the call of our master. Even with the current happenings, the killings, the kidnappings, the attacks, and the likes, We are not doing anything about it. In fact, we only do some small activities when there is the story of somebody coming. We try to arrange ourselves, and when the issue is gone, we return back to our family. We were driving around one of the communities with my wife, and I said, listen, what you find in the so-called Christian communities is that new businesses are springing up. And what are those businesses? Hotel businesses. Opening drinking houses, partying houses. When there is peace, people return to those drinking houses and partying houses and do all kinds of nonsense. When the drums of war begin to beat, we run back. We are scrambling, trying to find our feet. Before we know what's happening, we are overtaken. Check now, what is the growing business today? Anything that has to do with immorality, drinking, and it is thriving only in our communities. The so-called Christian communities. Very sad. We are sleeping while the enemy is busy scheming. We are never living in preparation. That is why all the time these things will catch us unaware. We are just moving grip like that. We are not paying attention. We are not reading the times. Look at the issue of election. Even when we talk election, we are doing nothing about it. All we do is complain. I am tired of waiting for the voter's card. You go home. And they will finish registration, you have not registered. Even when you go for the election, they are not doing the thing quick. I am tired. You go home. And then when they do election, you complain more than everyone. We have bad leadership. Bad leadership. It starts with the followership, friends. What have you done to put the good leadership in place? Nothing. The same people that will tell us with one mouth, when you vote, don't stay there so that you not create problem. Go home until they will announce the result. They will talk with another mouth to tell other people, stay there. This is how they even say it. Let me say it the way they say it in Hausa. Akasa, Asari, Araka, say Abuji. What that means is be there, let them cast the vote with you, and stay there to protect your vote. In fact, escort your vote to the collection center. But if you see that you are losing, beat it down. I don't know how I can get it. Beat it. Scatter it. If it is not favorable to you, scatter it. So they say, go to your homes, and then they told us, say, protect your homes. Friends, this is the reason why the Southern Kingdom, Israel, had to go on exile. We are doing the same thing and we're in exile. And if we don't turn to God, there will not be deliverance for us. But again, there is a great comfort for the church in Nigeria in this book. Some of the most glowing words of comfort and hope to be found anywhere are the prophecies of Isaiah, especially in the last chapters of his book. Isaiah wrote to comfort all those who have lost hope, especially those who have been taken to exile. Have you lost hope in Nigeria? That's okay. If you've lost hope in Nigeria, it's okay. But the most important question is this: have you lost hope in God? We need to begin from the home. This was observed during our prayers, and I told you that was already bringing out the sermon when we went to observe the day of prayer. Let us begin to rescue our homes, because God has set up the home to be the first center of discipleship, position in the society to accomplish God's mission. In the home, that is where we start. All of the bad leaders that we see today, all of the corrupt people that we call. Somebody said, you think corruption can be dealt with in this country? Can, until Jesus comes. But these people we are talking about, we are giving back to their parents. What values did they get from their parents? What identity were they given? And that is why the generations after the generations keep getting very worse, because we always take the identity that we receive from what our own parents do, not what they teach us. So let's rescue the home. The power of the word of God speaks to generations even yet unborn. That is what happened with Isaiah. He spoke to the nation before she was born. He spoke, even in the case of Judah before exile, over 100 years. The church is the hope of every nation because the church is the body of Christ, and that is where we stand today. The truth must be heard from the church. We must address leadership with the truth. Let me tell you, when truth meets truth, they will agree whether it is coming from where. They will agree. Truth will agree with truth. But you see, the source of truth is God himself. He defines, he gives truth its definition. Only the truth sets you what? Only the truth sets you free. We are the remedy to this sick and dying world that we live in. So we must wake up. We must wake up. This God that we serve is calling us to come to share not only in eternity with him, but we share his character. Because he says, be holy, for I, the Lord your God, am holy. God wants us to be that conduit that his justice, his righteousness, and his compassion can permeate the world that we live in today. God has a message for Nigeria, even in the state that we're in. God has a message for Nigeria, and he can use you. Amen. Well, you may feel that you are inadequate to be used by God. But let me tell you something. If you feel you are inadequate, you are correct. Isaiah felt he was inadequate. That was what informed his submission before God. I am a man of unclean lips. But you see, when he saw himself as unclean, and then tarried in God's presence and confessed, what did God do? Cleansed him. God cleansed him. See, this calls the point on the importance of tarrying in the presence of God. Cleansing takes place. Cleansing, healing, restoration, all of those take place. God is able to deal with our inadequacy and make us worthy of his mission. God wants to use you and I today. God wants to use you and I this year. But you must tarry in his presence. The question is this: are you ready to be used by God? Are you ready? Let's bow our heads in prayers. Lord, we thank you because you are a wonderful God. You are a holy and a mighty God. We pray that we will find in your word a roadmap that will lead us as we submit and commit ourselves to studying your word. That will be that voice you are looking for today, to communicate your counsel, to bring healing and restoration to this world that is sick, to tell the world of your compassion, your love, but also to communicate your justice. How that you are holy and you will protect your holiness and you will not tolerate sin. So that Lord will live in holiness and in righteousness. Grant us this lean and this enablement. Thank you for answering our prayers. Pray in Jesus' name. Amen.